40 times, lots of screens. Had 2 rushing touchdowns, 1 throwing. Also took some shots at the end zone at the end of the game that missed. Here he is after the game.
Sucks. Losing sucks. Losing to them, losing to anybody at home sucks. Every season, if you don't win, it's a failed season. That's the nature of the business. There's one happy team at the end of the season, really, and when it's not you, and you're so close, it sucks.
All right, Brew, are you putting this loss on Josh Allen?
Wiles, what was I the first to say about Mahomes?
Okay, that he was Jordan-esque, you said on Sports.
Jordan-esque.
Yes.
Do you blame Patrick Ewing for losing to Michael Jordan?
No, I mean
Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley, Kyle Malone. Do you blame them? You just say, man, they were in his era.
Sure.
And you don't blame them. Josh Allen balled out yesterday. Now, made a couple mistakes. The looking, like I said, throwing it to Shakir, and he didn't ball out.
He did for the first 3 quarters.
He played all right.
I thought he played
for the first 3 quarters.
He ran for 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Through can we see this one, Dusty?
The play to
pass
Shakir was
to
great.
Shakir
It was great play.
was incredible.
Yeah.
All right, here it is.
It was
I mean,
amazing
first of all, look at finding time, making extra time, and that pass is incredible.
Yeah.
All right, so
He threw for 186 yards. It's not like,
hey, what do I always say about Josh? Be clean. He
Right,
was
so
clean.
that's the problem.
He was
That's a
clean.
low bar,
and they went,
bro.
hold on, no. They went, he had 3 touchdowns. They went downfield. We just saw Trent Sherfield. Now it was a tough catch. Drop one in the breadbasket. We saw Stephon Diggs, one of the best receivers in the world, drop one. And he underthrew Shakir.
So, all right,
Shakir.
listen.
So I'm just saying, the defense was the problem.
Okay.
They couldn't stop him.
All right,
hold on, Nick.
Yeah.
The Chiefs had 1 punt.
Yeah.
The Chiefs scored on their first 5 possessions.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying Josh Allen was perfect, but I'm saying if you say what cost them the game, I'm going to say the fact that the defense couldn't stop them at all.
Yeah, that's...
Their offense had the ball for 37 minutes.
Yeah, so
the Bills.
score more than 24 points, especially at the end, get a touchdown to win the game. Like, listen, first, I want to be fair to Buffalo. I know it's a really tough day.
Do you really?
It's wide right again.
Do you really?
No, I do, and they deserve credit. I think each playoff victory matters something. Dusty dropped the banner, because these don't come by lightly. I mean, listen, back-to-back bronze medalists in the AFC. Back-to-back, pardon me. That's 3 straight. Now, 2 losses in a row at home against 2 of your chief rivals. I mean, I would
give them the benefit of the doubt.
I'll give them. I mean, I guess it could be Houston. We'll give them the bronze this year. So here's the thing. Let's roll through this, because Brew did something that he accuses me of doing sometimes, which is you've lowered the bar so much. This is a guy who was being discussed as league MVP until the final week of the year. This is a guy who was openly discussed as the 2nd best quarterback in football, and it's a guy who in the 4th quarter couldn't come through. And we can show you the numbers; they're undeniable, Brew.
It was his fault for missing the field goal.
No.
That was his fault.
No,
I'm not saying he was perfect. Really? How?
Because you were thinking a 44-yard field goal in the cold.
Yeah.
I mean, no, you weren't thinking it was a gimme, but it was like, okay, this is what we got you.
Brew,
Can you make it 44?
Brew, you have glossed over, by the way, entirely 4 plays before the missed field goal, the fumble. Right? They just got lucky that they recovered. So here's the problem. The Bills coaching staff was afraid of Josh Allen, which made him not scared. They were scared of Josh, so that made him not scary. Show the next-gen stats passing chart and the data on it.
Yep.
So listen, 16 passes behind the line of scrimmage, which is the most in the next-gen era by any quarterback, 16 completions. 2 completions past the sticks the entire game. The Bills coached like, oh my gosh, we can't let Josh make the big mistake. He still tried to at the end despite it. And because of that, all of a sudden, they had an offense like the Derrick Henry Titans.
But it was effective, Nick.
But it wasn't.
Really?
Yes.
They lost by 3. You're acting like they got blasted.
No,
the same when Josh Allen was throwing it all over the field. They lost 2.
Yeah.
So, in fact, they lost by more points.
Yes, exactly. So right.
They couldn't beat them either way, but this worked.
Well, okay.
They had the ball for 37 minutes to the Chiefs'
Right.
23. They lost. They lost the game, but to act like that run game wasn't effective?
Yeah, what I'm saying is they were the favorite against a wounded, vulnerable Chiefs team that smart
Wounded?
people, including
Wounded?
Yeah, Brew, their middle
Who was
linebacker.
more wounded between the two teams?
Brew, the Chiefs' middle linebacker went out on the first play of the game. Their safety went out on the second play of the game.
You going to sit here and say the Chiefs were more injured than the Bills?
No, not at all. When I say wounded, I mean this was considered the weakest Chiefs team. They're in your building.
Well,
this is your moment. You picked them, and Josh had the ball with a chance to come through and didn't. Like, I'm not killing him. He was not the problem.
That was the question.
No.
Was he the reason they lost the game?
Right, but my reaction is because it seems like you're putting none of the blame.
No, I'm putting some of it on him. I'm just saying I don't think it's on him. That was the question. Is it on him?
It is his job in that spot to come through. When his defense gives him the ball with the forced fumble at the 1, it's like, oh my God, we have a chance here. And you're driving the field, and you have a 1st and 10 from the 25. It is your job to either pick up the first down so the Chiefs wouldn't have the ball at the end, because even if they make the field goal, I think they lose, or to put it in the end zone. And he couldn't. And again,
we think if they make the field goal, and I agree with you, I think Mahomes probably would have marched down at least for a field goal. But we don't know that for a fact.
Right, but Bruce,
he set his team up to tie the game. That's what you want the go-ahead touchdown, but he still got him in position to keep playing on.
So if you think that he played a great game?
No, I think he played a very good game.
Okay, and I'm saying in that moment, the biggest game of his career, he needed to be great.
Yeah, that's fair. We reached a
He
compromise.
was better than their defense. How about that?
That's fine. Their defense is not why the Bills are the Bills. That's the point.
He scored 3 touchdowns.
Okay, then let's just.
No, it's fine. He played very good. They got a very good result. That's it. They're 3rd place. It's very good. Mahomes played great.
Third
the best
or 4th
passer rating of the whole year. Yeah. That's why he's
It's
moving
also
on.
wild.
Lamar played great.
No one's ever doubted that Mahomes is better than Josh Allen.
No, Brew, and that's what I'm
Mahomes
telling
is
you.
better than Lamar Jackson, but let's see what happens next weekend.
Head over
I'm
to
just
social
saying.
media. One of my favorite places. Patrick Mahomes on Instagram saying, "Good luck." That is a response.
If it's Patrick's approach, he's right. If everyone wants him to scream at MVS and stop targeting him, if he's not doing that, there's a reason. If everyone is panicking and he's not, there's a reason. And if everyone else thinks, you know what, they don't have it this year, and that guy, until proven otherwise, shows we'll be one of the last 4 standing and then see what happens. Maybe we'll lose in overtime of the championship round, or else we'll be in the Super Bowl. Then, yeah, if you are operating from the perspective of he might not be in this round, which the vast majority and bookmakers were, you're underestimating him, Brew.
I don't think he's underestimated because he didn't have a great year by his standards, right? Even he wasn't the MVP.
Sure.
And yet you can't find a pundit that won't say and hasn't been saying he's the best quarterback in the league. Am I right?
The pundits run the gamut.
I'm
not going to name names.
He is generally still, even before this game, regarded as the best quarterback in the league.
Don't you think?
And I've heard people even saying, well, you hear a lot of people, we say it on this show, but I hear people on other shows saying he's the best quarterback they've ever seen.
Brew, but didn't you hear a lot of people saying going into this game that the Bills had the better quarterback? That Josh Allen was that when they were doing
the better quarterback?
Yes, that when they were doing a tail of
that
the
he had
tape.
a better season, but the better quarterback?
When they were doing a tail of the tape check marks, offense, defense, quarterback, head coach, a lot of folks gave the check mark in the quarterback category to the Bills. That is not a straw man. It wasn't this show, but that is not a straw man. That is absolutely what was happening.
When I've looked at Mahomes, I even think him making the Pro Bowl, which, was fine. But you even said it yourself. He's always going to be in. You could argue that Allen could have made the Pro Bowl over him. You could argue C.J. Stroud could have made it over him. But he made it. So my point is, I think he gets, everybody knows how great he is, but not picking him to win, nobody wins every year. And I don't know if they're favored. They're probably not favored this weekend.
But again, this was not about picking them to win the Super Bowl. It was about picking them to win in round 2 against Buffalo. And folks bent over backwards to find a reason as to why the 11-6 Bills team was this juggernaut and this 11-6 Chiefs team was super flawed. Bent over backwards to find a reason why Josh Allen...
You didn't have to bend over backwards to see that their receiving core had been a weakness.
Yeah, yes, of course. Every team has slight weaknesses.
That wasn't slight, though.
Okay.
Now, they played great yesterday. I can't blame them. But you went on blind faith saying they're going to get it done. And they did.
Yeah.
But you can't blame people for saying they led the league in drops. They cost them games, and they didn't do it yesterday.
I would blame people if in 2005 people were like, you know what? This